Morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Huddle Podcast. My name is Metal Mike. I'm joined here, as always, with the Pickmaster himself, the Candyman, Johnny H. John, how you doing on this football Sunday?
I'm doing good. Ready to talk about some good NFC North stuff, the news, all that stuff. Every day closer is a day closer to the start of the season. Let's go.
That's right. We got a lot of news to talk about coming out of the first week of training camp. We're going to spotlight the NFC North today. So John, here's the thing: is our schedule was a little mixed up this week. Realistically, we were supposed to have off this week. I was supposed to go to the beach, but because of the weather, it's that didn't happen. That got moved to next week. So we're live today.
Still went to the beach?
I was supposed to go to the beach today.
You still could have.
It's storming right now in Seaside. So
that doesn't mean the beach isn't going to be there.
Yeah, but I want to go. I want to actually go on the beach and not, stay on the boardwalk.
You could have still went on the beach.
No, it's okay. We will wait until next week so I can go down onto the beach so I don't get hit by lightning, so I could be here for future shows and for the future itself. Because, I don't feel like getting hit by lightning. So we're here live today. We're going to spotlight the NFC North. Next week, we will be off. So we will not be here next week. But we're spotlighting the NFC North today. We're going to do the news. We got a lot of stuff to talk about coming out of the first week of training camp, a lot of things to talk about. I even was able to find some things that happened yesterday that I was able to throw on the docket to talk about today on the news, because a lot of key players are dealing with some nagging injuries that are going to affect week 1 of the regular season in September, a month away. It's going to affect them. Before we get into everything, I want to ask everybody to please head over to all of our social medias. If you're watching on the YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's how you follow us on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, hit the follow button. And if you want to go to all of our social medias, on the bottom of the profile in the Twitch account, there's links right there for the TikTok and the X at the Huddle Hub Pod. Go over there, hit that follow button now, and help us build the channel heading into the 2025 NFL season. So, John, we're going to get into the first segment of the day is the news. A lot of news. Number one, we didn't talk about this last week. This already happened. Just get some real quick thoughts on this. Mike Williams, wide receiver of the Chargers, formerly of the Steelers and the Jets, decided to retire last week. Any thoughts on Mike Williams? Not a big career. He was only in the league for, I think, like 8 seasons. He didn't play long, but decided to retire.
It's not a major loss at all. To me, it feels like he wasn't on the field half the time because he was hurt. So probably for his health, that's probably the smartest move he could make, but I don't think it's a big loss.
Sticking around in Chargers camp, okay? They went out and they signed Nyheim Hines. Nyheim Hines, he's been out for 2 years dealing with the ACL injury. He signed with the Chargers this week as the third running back behind Najee Harris and the rookie Amari Hampton. So Nyheim Hines joins the Chargers. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. We went to the AAA ball club, Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, the AAA team for the Phillies, and we were talking about this on our own time about Nyheim Hines. And I said to you, do you think the Chargers could actually have like a 3-headed monster with Nyheim Hines? And you gave me an answer on that. What was your answer on that as far as them making this a triple-headed monster in Los Angeles?
No, that's going to be the Harris. Hey, what's up, Cam? And I almost said San Diego. Oh, my goodness.
What's up, Cam?
In Los Angeles, that's going to be the Harris and Hampton show.
Yeah.
Himes is just there for a depth move. I think it's a minor move. He's been out of the league for 2 years, so who knows what he even has to bring to the table. Plus, if you make it a 3-headed monster, you're taking it away from Herbert and in the passing game. So it's like that was just a death mood mainly, I believe, anyways.
I mean, you might be right on that. It could just be very well definitely. I mean, with Najee Harris dealing with the eye injury, they're saying he should be good for the start of the season. With the whole eye injury and dealing with the fireworks and stuff like that, he should be good to go. But right now, Himes is playing a significant part as the second running back in camp while Harris is out. So that's why I have this small feeling that the Chargers could work in to having Hines into the run game during the season. You got to remember, their head coach is a big running head coach. He loves to run the ball. He did it in San Francisco. He did it at Michigan. He did it a lot last year in his first year in Los Angeles. So
that's why he got Harris. That's why he brought Harris in.
The expectancy of having that run game and that's why I have that thought of maybe they turn this into a 3-headed monster. He is a running coach. So that's why I have the thought of that. They also lost to retirement defensive tackle Isaac Rochelle. He retired on Saturday morning. You want to know the cool thing about Isaac Rochelle is yesterday afternoon, he was over on the NFL Network's SiriusXM channel doing a talk show because they were at Chargers camp. He retired Saturday morning, and he was on the talk show in the afternoon. And I will say this right now, Isaac Rochelle has a bright future in radio. He did great. Hats off to Isaac Rochelle, and best wishes in his retirement. And again, I think he has a big future in radio. Did great on the show yesterday. So
that's good.
The Saints, they lost some players. cornerback Tyrann Mathieu and tight end Jimmy Graham both decided to retire. Do you see this as big losses for the Saints?
Not Jimmy Graham. His best years were way behind him. I mean, he went downhill right after he left the Saints the first time. Tyrann Mathieu, maybe. I'm not exactly sure what his stats were the last couple of years, but I know he was getting up there in age. So that might be a loss for them. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be anything major for them.
Well, I mean, the Saints did go out and make some moves as far as building their defensive backfield for this year, but I think the Saints' biggest and we're going to cover this when we cover the NFC South next week or in 2 weeks. When we cover the NFC South in 2 weeks, you know, we're going to get into deep depths of the Saints. But I'm going to say this right now. I think their biggest focus is the quarterback position. That's their biggest focus right now.
Yeah, everybody is unproven. Spencer Rattler didn't look good last year.
Awesome, Cam.
And then they draft Tyler Scarrow. I know I pronounced his last name wrong. He's a
Tyler
rookie
Shuck?
out of Shuck.
Yeah.
He's a rookie out of Louisville, so they have nobody proven that's going to basically be their starting quarterback. Personally, I think Shuck's going to win that battle because I'm not a big fan of Rattler. I wasn't impressed with him in college, and I definitely wasn't impressed with him last year. So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting year in New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Shook is expected to be the starter out in New Orleans. He was already named. He wasn't named the starter, but he is 80% there as far as being named the starter.
I mean, I'm looking at their depth chart. They got
their quarterback room is rough.
I know. They got Shook as number 1, Rattler as number 2, Jake Hayner as number 3, and Hunter Deckers is number 4. That's like got to be the most unproven quarterback room in the league right there.
It is a very they have one veteran in that room who has been a journeyman ever since coming into the league.
Yeah.
So has no proven capital as far as being a starter.
Well,
and then the rest of the room are year 1, year 2 guys.
Yeah, they don't even have a veteran mentor for the 2 young quarterbacks that are 1 and 2. It's going to be a rough year for New Orleans fans.
Well, speaking of quarterback rooms, Desmond Ridder, as we know him, he's a young quarterback, but became a journeyman pretty much from the jump. The Falcons, the Vikings, and now he's a Bengal. He's going to back up Joe Burrow this season. Any thoughts on Desmond Ridder signing with the Bengals?
Honestly, I think he's going to back up Jake Browning. Browning is proven to be more than capable of being the backup there. I think that was just a death move to get a third stringer that has some type of starting experience just in case.
Sticking around in the quarterback position, Will Levis, quarterback of the Titans, it was announced he is going to miss the 2025 NFL season. The Titans announced on Monday that he has been dealing with a nagging shoulder injury since the end of the 2024 season. It was a pretty much kept in-house thing. They didn't make it a big deal throughout the whole offseason, but dealing with this injury, they decided, okay, Cam Ward's going to be the number 1 guy. Will Levis is going to go get the shoulder surgery. So primarily the thought is what is the future for Will Levis? Because if Cam Ward comes out and he, brings the Titans even 5 wins this season, Cam Ward is the guy in Tennessee moving forward.
I think Cam Ward was the guy in Tennessee the moment they took him number 1 overall. Will Levis, to be fair, Will Levis had his chance. He was the starter the last couple years and came out, first game ever started, 5 touchdowns. He took the NFL by surprise. And then after that, it just was a slow downhill career of being inconsistent. So I think this is actually a better move for them. I want to see what Cam Ward can do for the Titans. I think he's going to produce I'm not going to say way better than Levis because he's a rookie, but I think they have a better chance of winning with Cam Ward. I think he offers more to it brings more to the table is what I'm trying to say than what Levis did.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to see what Cam Ward does moving forward. He is now the number one guy out in Tennessee. Will Levis done for the season. I honestly, I don't see this as a huge hit for Tennessee. I don't.
I don't
I think
either.
this could be a good move for them. And,
Yep.
and me and you discussed off camera, off the show about teams keeping things in house. And you said you have no problem with it. I'm going to say
More
this right
teams
now.
should do it. More teams should do this.
And
The only thing it will affect is fantasy. But
yeah,
during the season, you have the injury reports that teams have to do. So I don't have a problem with keeping things in house. I really don't. That's what teams should do.
I have no problem with it either. I mean, because here's the thing is guys can end up getting hurt or having a small injury that could be fine the next day. For example, Justin Fields. He ends up getting hurt in camp earlier this week, and he gets carted off the field. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, he got carted off the field. This could be a major injury. He dislocated a toe.
That was
He's going to
just
be
for
fine.
precaution, probably because he had trouble walking because of his toe. So that was probably just a cautionary thing.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be day to day. He went back and started practicing yesterday,
Yeah,
took a
he'll be
couple
fine.
snaps. He's fine. You know, and that's why thinking about the whole keeping things in house, I have no problem with it. Like you said, the only thing it's really going to affect is fantasy. That's it.
You have the injury reports for that.
Yeah.
So you're going to know by game time it's going to be a normal thing. It's just right now where there's no injury reports that people really can keep things in house and to themselves.
Some big news coming out of this week, something we've talked about a lot in the past couple weeks. Shamar Stewart, the linebacker, the edge rusher for the Bengals. He is the final first-round pick to reach an agreement with the team. He had signed a fully guaranteed $18.97 million contract with $10.4 million guaranteed in a signing bonus. Your thoughts on Shamar Stewart finally signing with the Bengals?
Like I said, it's about time. I'm going to tell you what I told you yesterday when we were at the Pigs game. You put an $18.9 million contract in front of me, in front of anybody else who works 9 to 5, a regular job, they're not even going to hesitate to sign it. To me, I feel like this is an entitlement type thing. You're a rookie. You're acting like you're a 5-year, 6-year veteran star player. That's the power play those guys make. You have not played one snap in the NFL. I don't care what you did in college. You could walk onto that field and get hurt the first game. It's a possibility. I'm not wishing that on him, but it's a possibility. You know, I think this guy thinks he's better than he is initially. 18.9 million, and he's not going to sign that deal right away. Learn the value of money, kid. Learn the value of money.
I mean, it was all about the wording in the contract, the guarantee money, all that stuff. That's what it was. And when you look at the NIL deals that these kids are getting in college, it's like, okay, if their contract does not match up with what they're getting offered in NIL money, it's like, you know, hey, I can always go back, play my final year of eligibility, and get paid more than what you're offering me.
Yeah, but that's a risk too.
That
Say
is a
he
risk.
goes back and gets hurt and misses most of the season. Guess what? You're not a number one pick anymore because now teams are going to be like, how's he going to, depending on the injury and when it happened, how is this going to affect him? How is he going to be? Is he going to be the same guy? Look at Frank Gore. Surgeries on both knees, fell to the second round, I believe, when San Francisco nabbed him. So, I mean, that's a real big gamble if he did that move.
Well, Shamar Stewart finally signs his contract with the Bengals, and now all first-round picks have finally signed their contracts. Everybody's in camp. So, some other news, John. This is like all over the place. I mean, there's so much news coming out here. Let's run with this one. Santana Moss, as we know, the wide receiver from Washington, he's being inducted into the Commanders' Ring of Honor. 732 catches, 10,283 yards, 66 touchdowns, 14.0 yards per average catch. Santana Moss is being inducted into the Commanders' Ring of Honor. Any thoughts on Santana Moss?
I don't have a problem with that. Drafted by the Jets and then went to the then Redskins. now the Commanders, and he was a solid receiver for them. I don't have a problem with that for all. He was solid in Miami when he played in college. I would actually like to see Lavernius Coles, his counterpart, get put into that Ring of Honor too. He was just as solid as him. So I have no problem with Santana Moss getting put in the Ring of Honor. He deserves it.
Treylon Burks, wide receiver of the Titans. He has a possible broken collarbone. Possibly broke his collarbone yesterday in camp. They will not know anything until tomorrow. He suffered a torn ACL in 2024, missed 12 games. He was drafted in 2022. It's been a rough start for Treylon Burks in Tennessee. So do you have any thoughts on Treylon Burks and the possibility of him missing more time?
Yeah, this was the worst thing that could happen to him. Former first round pick. I was really high on him when he got out of college. I thought he was going to be the next big thing for him, and it's just been one injury after another injury. Every single year he's dealt with something, man. It's a tough break for him. It really is. He might be one of those guys that needs a fresh start on a new team to try to really get something going.
Once he's done with it, once he recovers from injury. Yeah.
Yep. And he finishes off his rookie contract.
Another key player dealing with an injury, running back from the Texans, Joe Mixon. He has a lingering foot injury, and there's a possibility that it might have him miss week 1 and beyond. What does this mean for the Texans and the running game?
Big blow. It really is if he misses more than one game. But the thing is, they went out and they added depth with Nick Chubb. So it's a blow, but I still believe Nick Chubb has some good games left in him. I think last year it was just come back from that injury, play. He didn't have the year that he would have liked to have, but I think if it's maybe 2-3 games, Chubb and Damian Pierce can handle that load. But remember, you still have CJ Stroud. You still have Nico Collins.
Yep.
They draft Jaden Higgins. They add Christian Kirk, and they still have Dalton Schultz. So if they need to rely on the passing game to take the pressure off the running game, they can. And Stroud can run the ball himself if he needs to. So, yeah. I mean, I think the Texans are going to be fine if Mixon mixes a couple games, but it still will be a blow. It will still affect that offense.
Another injury that could affect another team, quarterback position-wise, Matthew Stafford. It has been announced that he's been dealing with a sore back. He's been dealing with this issue since the end of last year, since the playoffs against the Eagles. Matthew Stafford, ever since, he's just been trying to recover from this back soreness, but has not been able to shake it. And there's a possibility that this could be his last season. What are your thoughts on Matthew Stafford if he ends up missing time in Los Angeles?
The Rams are in trouble because they have Jimmy Garoppolo as their backup. Yeah, there are a lot of injuries heading into the preseason.
I mean, week one of training camp has been a plethora of pup list guys, injuries and stuff. Are we going to cover every injury? No, we can't. We'll be here all freaking day. I'm just pulling out the key ones. I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue with your Matthew Stafford.
Hey, Jimmy G's capable of managing a game. Okay, he's with a good defense. He's proven he can win with San Francisco. If he's in the right system, he's proven he can win with New England. But at the same time, he's a game manager. He's proven that he has weapons at both running back and receiver to help him out, but he's no Matthew Stafford. And I could really see that passing game struggling if Stafford can't recover from this before the season starts.
Looking to see if there's any other injury reports. No, there is not. That's it for that's it for the injuries. I mean, that's all we're going to cover.
I actually have one that you haven't mentioned.
Which one?
It's a Commander's injury. It's the top headline on the Big E. Commanders Terry McLaurin arrived at camp but put on the physically unable to play list.
That's because of his contract dispute.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's because of his contract dispute.
That's what it was, but he's a big name receiver.
Yeah.
Like you crushed it last year, so I thought it was worth mentioning.
So he was put on the not going to participate list because of the contract dispute. So he's there in camp, so he doesn't get fined, because he's getting fined $50,000 a day for not showing up to camp. So instead of him losing money, he shows up, but he doesn't dress. He doesn't participate. He just stands there. That's it. So he's not getting fined $50,000 a day.
Basically doing what Brandon Ayuk did last year.
That's
he
exactly
showed up so he wouldn't get fined.
That's it. That's pretty much exactly what it is.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
All he's saying.
Pretty much.
That's all he's saying. So,
yep.
But yeah, that's the Terry McLaurin thing. He's not injured. He's fine. He's healthy. He just wants money. That's it. He wants that new deal. And we talked about that last week.
He'll get it.
Yeah.
He's just gotta be patient. He'll get it.
He'll definitely get it.
I don't think they brought Debo in to replace him. I think they brought Debo in to help him so he's not constantly double teamed.
Yeah. Yeah. That drop fits so well, Cam. I'm so glad I do these drops now. I'm so glad I have these drops now. It's so funny. But anyways, here's one that's not an injury, but there is a player that is being put on the not able to perform list due to a different reason. Nose tackle Desmond Watson from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's not allowed to participate until he reaches an undisclosed weight goal. Now, he was drafted at his pro day. Before he got drafted, he weighed 464 pounds. Okay. He is currently down to 430. So he has lost 34 pounds since April, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good feat. And again, it's an undisclosed weight goal. There's no announcement on where they want him to hit, but I'm going to say this right now. I'm pulling for this guy. Like, let's go, Desmond. You got this, dude. Like,
he's obviously showing he wants to be there. He's losing the weight.
Yeah.
I'm sure the trainers have him on a diet or some type of weight loss plan. So Bill turned some of that more into muscle, and yeah, man. Like,
and
he's showing he wants to be there. It's not like he's showing up like, oh my God, I can't think of his name. Jamarcus Russell showing up out of shape and doesn't really care about it at camp.
Man.
Like, yeah.
Cheeseburger man. The only way I'll watch film with you is if you come to my house and bring me 12 Wendy's cheeseburgers, and you guys can each have a half of one. That's it. That's how it was, too. He literally, go watch that documentary on YouTube. I swear, he said to 6 of his teammates, if you come to my house and watch film, you need to bring 12 Wendy's cheeseburgers. I will let you guys have half of one. So each guy, they took 3 of them, split them in half, and he got the other 9.
Oh yeah,
nuts.
He was something else. He was just there for the first round pick money.
And he dealt with bankruptcy twice, which is insane.
It doesn't surprise me.
But I'm pulling for Desmond Watson, man. I'm a fan of this kid.
Too.
Like, you can do, and what better place than to be in than in the state of Florida, where it is always warm. In most parts of Florida, it's warm. There's very few places in Florida where it gets under 70 degrees, and there's very few parts in Florida because it does snow in Florida. It does in certain parts because of the climate and change and everything like that. It does snow in certain parts of Florida, but he's in a place where it is warm all the time. He is going to drop that weight, and he will be on, I think he'll be on the field by mid-2025. I think so. So I'm pulling for this kid. I think I'm going to get me a Desmond Watson jersey just to pull for this kid. Show my support. Why not? Right? Why not? So, but I mean, a little bit of lightning news. It's not an injury, but it's a goal. I mean, you know, so Desmond Watson, man, you got this. Let's go. Jordan Hicks, linebacker of the Browns, he announced his retirement. Jordan Hicks is done with football. So, well wishes to him in his retirement. Hope him a well retirement. Not a bad career for Jordan Hicks. Played for the Eagles, played for the Browns. Yeah. He wasn't a big journeyman, but he was a journeyman in a small sense. Not a bad career, though. Had a pretty good career. Was fairly healthy most of his career. So, Jordan Hicks, good luck with your retirement. Well wishes. Another news thing, I just pulled this out today because there was an interview done yesterday on this, and I actually had the quotes pulled up, and then I accidentally X'd out of them. So luckily enough, it is a headline to talk about. If it lets me click on the quote. So I'm going to read this quote to you, John. And this is about running back Breece Hall from the Jets. He's not expecting to get his extension in 2025. This is exactly what he said in an interview yesterday. I'm not really expecting it before the season. We got a new head coach in Aaron Glenn, a new GM in Darren Mogi. Obviously, I wasn't drafted by them. I'm not their guy. So for me, like I said, I've got to prove it every day. I've got a chip on my shoulder. I feel like right now, okay, it's my last chance. It's always has been. He's got potential. He's got potential. But now I want to be the product. It's all about putting my head down and working. I don't really want to discuss all the other stuff. For me, I just try to worry about ball right now. So Breece Hall, he's not expecting an extended contract. He's not. We've seen Breece Hall the first 2-3 games of the season last year. He was doing fantastic and then just had the huge drop off after week 4.
Yep.
So, your thoughts on Breece Hall? Do you think he's going to be the guy moving forward in New York, or do you think he, by next year, will be playing for somebody else?
He has the right attitude going into this. He knows last year he struggled, and it was a drop-off for him, like you said. And I think that's the attitude he needs to have. That's the attitude all these Jets need to have. It's a new regime over there. Everybody, with the exception of a few guys like Garrett Wilson, really have to prove themselves. So, even their new quarterback, Justin Fields, he's going to have to prove himself. That is the exact attitude Breece Hall needs. He knows Braylon Allen is there behind him at number 2, and they could easily make that switch if he struggles again. So, yeah, I love that attitude. I love that he realizes that he struggled last year, had a down year, like we said, and now he's got to show that he's the guy from 2 years ago. I love it that he realizes that.
I'm really hoping that Breece Hall has a tremendous season. I am. I'm a fan of Breece Hall. I had him on my fantasy team a few times last year, in the hopes that he was going to bounce back and just didn't. But I'm pulling for him this year. I am. I told you yesterday that I don't have a sleeper team yet, but I am very close to the Jets being my sleeper team this year. I am, because I feel like they have a team to do something. It's just going to be all about what the coaches and the direction these coaches send these guys in, Yep.
I don't have a sleeper team in the NFC, but I told you that the Chargers are going to be my sleeper team in the AFC. I think they're ready to take the next step and win that division and possibly compete more.
Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, the Eagles, he told reporters that he lost 26 pounds this offseason. Jordan Davis, a key point for the Eagles defense, especially that front 4. Losing 26 pounds is a great feat, especially for the offseason to get ready for the regular season. Do you think that this is going to elevate Jordan Davis's game even more than his game has already been elevated?
It should make him more quicker. It's 26 pounds, so he should be able to react quicker. Should be a little bit more agile. I don't know if it'll elevate him, but it should improve him a little bit, I would think. 26 pounds is a good amount of weight that your knees don't have to support, so...
A contract that came in, Zach Tom, offensive tackle of the Packers, signs an extension, 4 years, $88 million. He is now the highest paid offensive lineman in league history. Huge pickup for the Packers, and great for Zach Tom. Highest paid player on the offensive line in league history. You don't hear contracts like this for offensive linemen. You don't.
No, you really got to earn that contract for an O-lineman.
And he definitely has. Some key players that got released. Noah Fant was released by the Seahawks. He visited the Bengals this week, and now he is heading out to New Orleans on Monday to visit with the Saints. So I guess the Bengals said, we'll think about it. Now he's going to head out to New Orleans. New Orleans, the way I look at it, they lost Jimmy Graham. Noah Fant, we know Noah Fant hasn't had the best start to his career, but could be a little bit of help to the Saints with losing Jimmy Graham. Your thoughts?
I think they're on the same level. Noah Fant's been nothing but a disappointment since he got drafted. He's been a bust. Like, I see why Seattle cut him and let him go. He's just no. I wouldn't want him on the Niners.
Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle from the Raiders, he also got released. Still has a bunch of money looming over from the contract with the Raiders. He was visiting the Patriots this past week after being released on Tuesday, and the Patriots seem pretty high on wanting to sign him, but he is still going to be heading out to 2 other teams to visit. I believe the Saints were another one that he's visiting, and he is also going out to visit, I believe, the Seahawks as well. I believe those are the 2 teams, but Christian Wilkins, huge defensive tackle, he's now on the free agent market. It would be a huge pickup for any team to get him.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a defensive tackle. So do you have any
agree.
thoughts on Christian Wilkins?
Like you said, it'll be a big pickup for any team to pick him up. I think it just came with the fact that the Raiders really didn't need him anymore. They got Leaky Fatu and they have Max Crosby, so they really don't need Wilkinson anymore. So he can, one man trash, one team's trash. Not calling him trash is another team's treasure. So he could go somewhere else to make an impact.
Last bit of news to cover: Keenan Allen, wide receiver, free agent. He's been on the free agent market for a while. 5 teams are expected. There's 5 teams that are kind of a good landing spot for him: Chargers, Steelers, Chiefs, Raiders, and Browns. Where do you think Keenan Allen would fit the best?
I think if he goes to a team, he's going to go back to the Chargers. I don't see him going to the Chiefs unless he wants to try to chase a ring. I don't know why he would want to go to the Browns, but I think he goes back to the Chargers. I mean, they have a very young receiving core: Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Trey Harris. They could use a veteran who's very well liked by the fans. You could easily say he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Charger legend. I think if he goes somewhere, it's gonna be back to the Chargers.
All right. Well, that's it for the news. Okay. So we are going to take about a 45-second break. We will be back right here on the Huddle Hub podcast. All right, so make sure you're following us all over social media here on the Huddle Podcast, over on Twitch, TikTok, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and X, over on the Huddle Hub Pod. So Yes, I left my microphone on. So John, I have a segment that I really quickly wanted to put together here. Something surprising, just kind of get your thoughts on very quickly. Okay,
Yeah.
there's 13 starters who could lose their job at the start of the There's 13 guys who could lose their starting position in 2025. There's a list out there of these 13 players that could end up losing their starting job. And very quick, just want to get your thoughts on it. But number one on the list is Anthony Richardson, quarterback of the Colts. Could end up losing his starting job. So your thoughts on the possibility of him losing his starting job?
He's got a lot to prove this year. And now he's actually got competition with Daniel Jones. So I think there's a very good chance he could lose his starting job. He's been a big disappointment for the Colts. A lot of injuries he's been dealing with the last 2 years. And yeah, I completely agree that it wouldn't surprise me if we see Daniel Jones starting by mid-season.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones is there's been a lot of talk about Daniel Jones ended up getting that starting position. There has been, him coming in and just taking it because Anthony Richardson has not had the best start to his career.
Oh, he's been a huge disappointment to them.
Yeah. So
can't stay healthy.
Next one on the list, running back of the Jaguars, Travis Etienne. There's a possibility he can lose his to Tank Bigsby. So I'm going to go down this list. If you have any thoughts on any of these guys, say stop and you give your thoughts. Okay. Tyler Higbee, tight end of the Rams. He can lose his to Terrence Ferguson.
I agree with that. Higbee hasn't put up the numbers that the Rams had hoped he would have.
Jalen Moore, offensive tackle of the Chiefs. He can lose his to rookie Josh Simmons. Andrew Wiley, offensive tackle of the Commanders. He can end up losing his to Brandon Coleman or Josh Connolly Jr., the rookie. Braxton Jones, offensive tackle of the Bears. He can end up losing his to rookie Ozzie Trapillo or Kyron Amagadigi. Okay. DJ Wonnum, linebacker of the Panthers, can end up losing his to Patrick Jones. Jelani Tavi, linebacker of the Patriots, could lose his to Christian Ellis. Kenneth Murray, linebacker of the Cowboys. The funny thing is there's no saying who he can lose his job to, which doesn't surprise me with the Cowboys because the Cowboys, ever since the end of last season, has not had the best rap for anything. I mean, Jerry Jones yesterday did a press conference for the fans, and the fans were literally yelling at him, pay Micah. Pay Micah Parsons. Brandon Stevens, cornerback from the Jets, could end up losing his to Azari Thomas, the rookie. Riley Moss, the cornerback from the Broncos. Jaquan McMillan, the defensive back of the Broncos. And defensive back of the Bills, Damar Hamlin, could all end up losing their starting jobs. The Damar Hamlin one, I could see it. Now,
what's he done in his career? He had one unfortunate moment where they had to restart his heart on the field. And that's the biggest thing he's known for. Like, he's not known for football. Like, he hasn't done anything.
I mean, ever since his incident, again, would never wish anything bad on any player or anything like that. But ever since his incident, he's had a slight downfall in playing. His statistics have just not been
never there to begin with.
Yeah. And so he can end up losing his starting job. So 13 players that can end up losing their starting job. The only thing
I really have a comment for is go back to the Bears.
Okay.
The offensive tackle, I believe, Ozzie Chipolio.
Yes.
He's their second round pick. I honestly believe he's going to win that right tackle spot, that right tackle battle. He got drafted in the second round for a reason. So I'm actually going to talk about him later in the show. So,
all righty. So, John, we are now into the spotlight edition of our show. The NFC North is our spotlight this week. Okay. Now, like I said, I've been having a lot of fun with this segment. I'm literally done with my spotlight notes to the point where I am starting on our predictions for our prediction show on August 31st. So
I'm doing it week by week, so I still have to do the South and the AFC.
I got a little ahead of myself, but
Yeah,
you know, so the NFC North, we're going to start off with the champions of the NFC North, the defending NFC champions 2 years in a row, the Detroit Lions. They went 15-2 last season, lost in the divisional round to the Commanders, and then the Commanders went to the NFC title game, lost to the Eagles, who went and won the Super Bowl. The head coach of the Lions is Dan Campbell. He's been the head coach since 2021. This is going to be his 5th season, and his record is 39-28-1. And he's 2-2 in the playoffs. John, what is your spotlight on the Detroit Lions for 2025?
They've had injury problems last year, and we're actually able to overcome that and make the playoffs. We all know they lost to the Commanders. I mean, they had the number 2 offense last year, the number 20 defense last year, and that's just because of the injuries. So they go out in the off season. And you have the 20th defense last year. They go out, sign cornerback DJ Reed, defensive tackle Roy Lopez, linebacker Grant Stewart. Then they draft Tyleek Williams in the first round, another defensive tackle. And they actually draft offensive guard Tate Ratledge in the second round. I actually thought he should have been a first rounder, but that's okay. So it seems like they addressed their needs on defense, added some good depth, got some starters in there. I think the Lions are once again going to win the North. A lot of people are saying Green Bay is going to take that step. I don't see it happening yet. I need to actually see it happen to believe it's going to happen in the case of Green Bay. And I think the Lions are, again, they're going to, barring injuries, not like last season, I think they're still going to be a Super Bowl contender. So I think the expectations stay the same this year for Detroit.
Okay. My spotlight is the one thing I got to say about them in 2025 is they need to stop taking unnecessary chances. And I mean, if it's 4th and 20, don't go for it. Stop doing that.
Campbell loves to take those gambles, man.
I know. And
that's why the fans like him so much, because he's gritty like that.
But at some point, and I can't even say at some point because it already has done it a few times. It has bitten them in the ass.
Yeah.
And what I think they need to do is score early, score fast. Like, if they want to win games, score early, play fast, and then once you get to like the second half, try and slow things down a little bit, but still keep your foot on the gas. Make sure you're sticking to your game plan, but slow things down a little bit. Throw the other teams off. But those chances, those 4th and 20s, 4th and 16s, stop. Because yes, it has already bit them in the ass a couple times.
Have a punter for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. You do, and a field goal kicker.
Yeah, exactly.
Use them.
I forgot about the kicker. Jake Bates is probably the best leg in the league, if not one of the best legs.
I mean, you go back to the NFC Championship 2 years ago against the 49ers. They had that game won. And the turnaround, when they not only did they take their foot off the gas, but at one point it was like 4th and 13. And it was 4th and 3. They went for it and got stuffed. And that slowed their momentum down. 49ers came back. Stop taking unnecessary chances. Take points. They should have kicked a field goal and took the points. And that game would have went into overtime because the Niners won 24-21.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been a tie game, would have went to overtime, would have had a chance at a possible trip to the Super Bowl. Instead,
especially since the Niners did the same thing to the Packers the week before.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Who's your focus players, the offense and defense for this year for the Lions?
On offense, it's going to be running back David Montgomery. I love that they have that 1-2 punch with Sonic and Knuckles, Jabari Gibbs, and David Montgomery. Montgomery had 775 yards last season and 12 touchdowns. I think this year, both of them are going to be 1,000-yard backs. I think
Okay.
Montgomery's going to break 1,000, maybe 1,100, maybe shoot the touchdown total up, maybe a couple to like 15, because he's still splitting carries with Gibbs, but I think it's going to be a fierce two-headed monster with Gibbs and Montgomery. And on defense, defensive tackle DJ Reader. Last year, he didn't really do much for them. 23 tackles, 3 sacks. I think that's going to get boosted up to around 50 tackles and probably about 7 or 8 sacks this year. So I think he's going to be a monster in the middle of that D line for them. And those are my spotlight players.
My offensive spotlight player is Jared Goff. Okay. He's in his 30s now, and it's been 3 weeks since the quarterback's documentary. If you haven't watched it by now, this man's life has changed since the offseason. He's married, has a family. His life has changed.
I'm almost done with it.
He's at the point where he's not in the twilight of his career yet, but he's getting to that point to where he's getting older. He's got to start winning. He already has a nice, decent control of this offense. Take that firm grip on this offense. Lead your guys. He does a good job at doing it at certain times. Certain times you can see where he loses the focus. If he does something where he messes up, it's kind of like he leaves it in the hands of the coaches. Start taking it into your hands with mistakes. You make a mistake, take it in your hands. Grab it by the horns and take control. Don't leave it in the hands of your coaches when you make mistakes. On defense, Aiden Hutchinson's coming back from that injury. You hear all this talk of he's doing great. He's doing great. Okay, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see how great he's doing. He's going to be a key significant part on that Detroit defense this year. And if he's doing as great as everybody's saying he is, well, then I want to see it. I want to prove it. Detroit, your defense may be my top pick as far as defense and fantasy this year because your defense looks good. Defense looks really good. Don't make me regret it if I do it. Please. The Vikings, they went 14-3 in 2024. They lost in the wild card round to the Rams, where that game took place out in Arizona because of the wildfires in Los Angeles. The head coach is Kevin O'Connell. He's been head coach since 2022. He's going into his 4th season as the head coach of the Vikings. His record is 34-17 of all, and he's 0-2 in the playoffs. He lost to the Giants 2 years ago, and then he lost to the Rams last year. What's your focus for the Vikings in 2025?
Vikings are like, there are 2 teams in the North that really intrigue me this year, and the Vikings are one of them. Last year, they were 12th on offense. That might be skewed a little bit because Sam Darnold was there at quarterback. And 16th on defense, so they weren't a bad team last year. On offense, I love what they did shoring up their offensive line. They signed offensive guard Will Fries, center Ryan Kelly, and then they draft offensive guard Donovan Jackson. So they are doing everything they can to protect their young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, who's coming back from an injury himself. On defense, re-signed Byron Murphy. Then they signed 2 defensive tackles, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. Hargrave took a step back last year. He had injury problems. We know like half the 49ers were injured last year, so I'm not too worried about Hargrave. I think he'll bounce back. Love the Jonathan Allen signing, just currying up that middle of the D line. Now, my expectations for the Vikings, I think they're going to compete for second place in that division and maybe sneak into the wild card.
Ooh.
I really think J.J. McCarthy is going to have a very good year this year. And those are pretty much my expectations. I think they obviously take a step back with Sam Darnold, losing him, because we don't know exactly what J.J. McCarthy is going to do on offense. So, but he has the weapons. He has a team that he can succeed. They go out and sign Jordan Mason from the 49ers to back up AJ Dillon. No. Oh my God. I can't remember his name. The Vikings running back, former Packer.
Oh, I know yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Oh my God, I can't remember his name. I said AJ Dillon, but it's
It's
not
okay.
him. Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. There
Yeah.
it was. I couldn't think of it. I was like, which could be a battle in itself. If Aaron Jones struggles, Jordan Mason's already proven he can handle a load. So but like I said, my expectations maybe sneak into the wild card, but I
Okay.
don't think they dethrone the Lions with the number 1 spot.
My focus for 2025 is the veterans need to command and demand leadership. The coaches shouldn't have to ask these veterans to come in and take control of a team and lead the young guys. They should be coming in demanding and commanding. This is a very young team now. This team went from being, I believe, the 16th oldest team to like the 3rd youngest team in the league. They really went down to being young. These veterans need to come in and command and demand leadership. And they need to help with the direction of their quarterback. JJ McCarthy, like you said, coming off that injury, he's going to need direction. He's going to, and these guys need to come in and help with that direction. If you don't mind, I'm going to go with my focus players first.
Go for it.
Mine are very simple.
Okay.
My focus offensive player is the offensive line, the whole offensive line. My focus defense is the defensive line. That's where it's going to start in the trenches for this team. After that, it's going to be about all putting the pieces together. Yeah, you have Justin Jefferson, great wide receiver, but again, you don't know what you're getting from J.J. McCarthy. Yes, you have Aaron Jones at running back, one of the top running backs in the league, but you don't know what you're getting from J.J. McCarthy. You have Hawkinson, don't know what you're getting from J.J. McCarthy. Offensive line is the focus of the offense, and defensive line, it's going to all start in the trenches. Who are your players? And one thing I want to point out, too, is that this is a very young quarterback room as well. The Saints have a young quarterback room. This is the Vikings quarterback room, along with J.J. McCarthy. They have Sam Howell, who's 24 years old, got drafted by the Commanders in 2022. He was also with the Seahawks, and now he's a Viking.
They have deal with the Commanders. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I thought he played very well his rookie year.
They picked up undrafted free agent Max Brosmer, 24-year-old rookie. And they also have Brett Ripien, 29 years old, undrafted in 2019. He's been with 6 teams now. So this is a very unproven, young quarterback room, with the exception of Brett Ripien, who's been in the league. He's played in a couple games here and there for the Titans and stuff. It's still the point. This is a very unproven quarterback room. So that's why I'm very skeptical on your expectations for the Vikings, but I respect your I can't find the word. Opinion. Thank you. I respect your opinion, because who knows what this Vikings team can turn out to be? Who knows? There's a lot of unknown expectations of this team, and no matter how they look quarterback wise, that's why I respect your opinion. There's a possibility this team can give the Lions a running if the Lions do not take a step back this year. So who knows? Who knows? But I personally don't expect a lot from Minnesota this year. I think they take a huge step back, and there could be a possibility that this record went from 14-3. I think it can go to 4-13. Big switch, I know, but your focus is your players for the Vikings.
Well, my expectations for the Vikings are mainly because of this guy. My offensive focus is J.J. McCarthy. This kid has no reason not to succeed. He's throwing to arguably the best receiver in the league, Justin Jefferson, and he's paired with Jordan Addison, who is a great number 2. You already mentioned T.J. Hawkinson. If he can stay healthy, he's already proven he's a solid tight end. Okay, they go out and improve their O-line, bringing in Will Fries, like I said, Ryan Clark, and draft Donovan Jackson. So they've already improved their O-line. Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. This kid is set up to succeed, and I think he will. That's why I'm thinking the Vikings are going to compete for that second place and might sneak into the wild card. I see J.J. McCarthy, and you might say, wow, when I say this, but because of the weapons he has, I'm thinking 4,100 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and 50 interceptions. I think this kid is going to
50?
have a great year. Huh?
50 interceptions?
No, I'm sorry. I said 15, I thought.
Oh.
No, 15 interceptions.
Oh my
I meant
God.
to say 15. Boy, wouldn't those be some numbers? 30 touchdowns and 50 interceptions. No,
He
he's going
throws
to
a
have
touch.
15.
He throws a touchdown for every 5 interceptions he throws.
Yeah. That'll get you on the bench real quick.
Here's a dime. Here's 5 interceptions. Here's a dot. 5 interceptions.
30 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I think he's going to have a great year. I'm actually kind of high on McCarthy this year just because of the offense he's in. I don't see any reason why the defense would take a step back. And speaking on the defense, my defensive focus is newly signed defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. Last year, he only played 8 games. He had 19 tackles and 3 sacks. If he stays healthy, I feel like he more than doubles those numbers. 60 tackles, 8 sacks, just basically what I said about DJ Reader. So I think Allen will stay healthy. Yeah, I don't see any reason why this team should take a huge step back. So those are my focus players on the Vikings.
Okay. Let's move on to the Packers. Went 11-6. They lost in the wild card round to the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Their head coach is Matt LaFleur. He's been the head coach since 2019. This is going to be his 7th season, and he has a pretty good record: 67 wins, 33 losses, 3-5 in the playoffs. John, what is your focus for the Packers in 2025?
No, my focus is this. Last year, they were 5th in offense and 6th on defense. They were a solid team last year. They go out in the offseason. They sign offensive guard Aaron Banks and cornerback Nate Hobbs. In the draft, they signed they draft Matthew Golden out of Texas in the first round. Anthony Belton, offensive tackle, in the second round. And another wide receiver, Savion Williams, in the third round. My biggest beef with the Packers, you have so many young receivers. Who is the guy? You have Jaden Reed. He looked like he could be the guy. You have Christian Watson. 1 year, he was the guy.
Yeah.
You draft Matthew Golden in the first round. You still have Romeo Doubs. You draft Savion Williams in the third round, and they still have Dontravian Wicks. Who is the guy? They have a solid young receiving core, but who is the guy?
There's no key guy.
That's what I mean.
No key focus.
It's great if Jordan Love spreads the ball around, but somebody in that receiving room has to step up and say, I am the guy. When we need a third down, when it's 4th and whatever, and we need that 4th down, throw me the ball.
Yep.
Who is the guy? I like what they did. They have a plethora of young receivers. Now, one of them has to step up, like you said. And I'll get into that later, who I think it's going to be. But as far as my take on the Packers this year, I think they're going to competing with the Vikings, like I said, for that number 2 spot. And if the Vikings don't sneak into the wild card, I think the Packers will make the wild card. They won't sneak in because they're expected to be a playoff contending team. Some people expect them to take the next step, like I said earlier when we talked about the Lions, and take the division. I don't see it happening yet. I want to see it to believe it. The Lions were riddled with injuries last year, and they still won the division. So I need to see the Packers take that step for myself. And until I do, I think they're going to make the wild card. What's your take on them?
2025, they need to focus on their run game. Okay. They'll figure out the pass game. And like you said, who's the key guy? I think they can figure that out this year. I think they can figure out who their key guy is, maybe find a second key guy, have 2 key receivers to throw to. You go to teams like Philadelphia. You know, they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You go to the Rams, they have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. You go to Detroit, and they have Amon-Ra St. Brown and I'm forgetting the other receiver that they have.
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams. You know, a lot of these teams have 1-2 guys on the receiving position. The Packers have the core to have a 1-2 guy. Just the question is who is it? I think they can figure that out fast. Their biggest thing is going to be focusing on the run game. Okay. And that leaves me with, and I'm going to just get right into my focus offensive player, Amon-Ra St. Brown. It is a fun name to say. It is. Speaking of names, real quick side note. Did you know, and he did an interview yesterday, it is not Bijan Robinson for the Falcons, it's Bijan.
Really? Everybody says Bijan.
Everybody says Bijan. It's Bijan. Yeah. So there it is. Cleared it up yesterday. Go check that out.
Easy to remember. Just think of Dijon Mustard.
Check that.
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, go check that interview out. It was a great interview. It was a very good interview. But he corrected everybody. He was like, I know everybody says Bijan, but it's Bijan.
It's French. Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan. Yeah. So, but real quick, just to get into my offensive player, Marshawn Lloyd, the backup running back, he needs to be a key focus this year. You cannot sit there and rely on Josh Jacobs to carry the ball every time. Last year, they had A.J. Dillon. They did, but for a very small period of time because of the injury. A.J. Dillon went down mid-season. It was rough. You put all that carry on Josh Jacobs. They need to focus on getting Marshawn Lloyd, the backup running back, into the focus. They do. I think he could be a key backup running back to Josh Jacobs if they figure him out. That's why I'm saying they need to focus on their run game heavy this year. Last year, they had Jacobs and Dillon. So it was like, okay, we got a run game. We're good. This year, you don't have that established backup guy for Josh Jacobs. They need to work Marshawn Lloyd into this game. Do you want me to go with my defensive player right away or
go for it?
Rashawn Gary. I mean, he had a decent season last year. The guy needs to, I'm not saying he needs to step up, but he needs to be involved more. His stats weren't as big as they were the year before. I think Rashawn Gary is the focus on defense. Okay. So, who are your players?
All right, on offense, and I'm going to piggyback off of what I said before about they need to get a solid receiver stepping up. And I think that receiver is going to be Jaden Reed. Last year, he had 55 catches, 857 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I think his numbers jump up to 85 catches, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns. I think this is the first step into him saying, this is my team. I love that they drafted Matthew Golden. He did great at Texas alongside of Isaiah Bond, who I was really high on before he got into his legal troubles and didn't get drafted. But I think Reed, this is going to be Reed's team. I think Reed and Golden are going to be a great 1-2 punch. I think that's going to be a thing. And on defense, my breakout player is going to be defensive end Lucas Van Ness. Last year, didn't really do much. 33 tackles, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble and a recovery. This year, I think it's going to really double those numbers. I'm going to go 60 tackles, 8.5 sacks, maybe a fumble and a fumble recovery or 2. I think he's going to take a next step and really get after the quarterback, get after the running game, and be a presence and really help boost that defense, that defensive lineup. Who are your players?
We
already did your players. Yeah, I forgot you went first.
I went first. I took the reins.
I forgot.
Final team in the NFC North to get into is the Chicago Bears. They went 5-12 last year. The only team in the NFC North that did not make the playoffs. Their head coach is Ben Johnson. This is going to be his first season. So he's the rookie head coach out in Chicago. So, John, what are you looking forward to and looking for in the Chicago Bears in 2025?
First thing I'm looking for at the Bears is last year they were 32nd, dead last in offense, and 27th in defense. That's 5th from the bottom or 6th from the bottom. They have a lot of improvement to make on this team. And it starts with signing Ben Johnson. I think he is going to be exactly what Caleb Williams needs. He has did wonders for Jared Goff in Detroit. So I think we're going to see that offense improve a lot this year and not be 32nd. Secondly, in the offensive line needs to stay healthy. That was a huge problem last year. Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times. That is an insane number. And you wonder why the kid couldn't do anything as rookie in his rookie year. He was running for his life all year.
Yeah.
He couldn't get comfortable in the pocket. And it showed if you watch his gameplay. Excuse me, my voice is deciding to go out.
It's okay.
I think I yelled too much at the game last night. But and how do you fix the offensive line? You do it in
Run, Castro, run.
Yeah, pretty much. But how do you fix the offensive line? You do it through free agency and the draft, and that's exactly what the Bears did. They go out and sign right guard Jonah Jackson, left guard Joe Tooney, center Drew Dolman. They draft right tackle Ozzie Trapillo in the second round. That's why I think he's going to be the starter. You don't draft a guy in the second round without the intentions of playing him. On the defensive side, they signed Deo Owendangbo and defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. They had one hell of an off season. Draft Colston Loveland, the heir to, oh my God, I'm having a terrible Cole Clement. You draft Luther Bird in the second round, receiver out of Missouri. I loved him coming out of college. I thought him and Isaiah Bond were going to be the receivers of this draft class. Well, obviously, I was dead wrong on Bond because he got into legal action, legal problems. But I love the Luther Burden. He's going to be a great number 3 receiver for them. They still have DJ Moore, Romadonias, who Williams had great rapport with last year. That rookie-to-rookie connection was great for him. So I think the Bears did everything they did and all the moves they need to make to improve this team. Do I think they're going to be on the level of the Packers and Vikings and Lions? No. But last year I said that they were going to be either 9-8 or 8-9. I was wrong. I'll admit that. They have a very tough schedule this year. If you look at their schedule, they play a gauntlet of good teams towards the end of the year. How many wins did you say they had last year?
5.
I think they improve it to at least 6 or 7 and get closer to that 500 mark.
They were a playoff contending team until they met Washington, and after that loss to Washington, they just fell off.
I was at that game, the crazy Hail Mary.
Yes.
And the thing is, look at the Bears' schedule last year. They lost so many games by 1 score.
Yep.
They just couldn't close them out. They could have been a playoff team if they closed those games out, but they just couldn't do it.
My focus for 2025 is they went out, they rebuilt their offensive line. This offensive line needs to get in sync fast. You said Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times last season.
68 times.
Okay. That is second most in NFL history behind David Carr, who got sacked 76 times in year 1 of the Texans. That's disgusting. Disgusting. This offensive line needs to get in sync fast if they want to be playing January football. Now, are they expected to play January football? Well, a lot of people would say so. Like you said, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Loveland. I mean, they got a stacked team.
Swift.
Built the offense. I mean, DeAndre Swift is expected to be a top 10 running back this year, with this new offensive line. But the offensive line needs to get in sync, and they need to get in sync fast. Fast, if they want to be even expected to play January football. And I mean the playoffs. That's what I mean by January football, because we do have week 17 and 18 in January. So, but I'll let you go first with your focus players, since I took the reins the last 2 times.
Yeah. And my number one focus player is for offense, and it's quarterback Caleb Williams. This team is going to go as far as Williams takes it. Last year was rough, like I said earlier, 68 sacks, problems with the O line, and he was never comfortable in the pocket. And you could show that, you could really see that his first instinct was to run every time he thought somebody was coming at him, and they were coming at him a lot. They improved the O line. They give him another receiver to throw the ball to. And I think he takes that step forward. I think they do what they needed to do with the O line to help him out. I might be highballing these numbers, but this year I could see Caleb Williams throwing for 4,400 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions because the O line is doing their job. The running game is taking pressure off of him. Like you said, DeAndre Swift is expected to be a top 10 running back this year. If all goes right, they got Brian Johnson, who is offensive heavy. He's offensive minded. Look what he did for Jared Goff, like I said earlier. If everything goes to plan, I could see Caleb Williams pulling those numbers. On defense, my defensive player is defensive tackle Javon Dexter Sr. And I kind of got lazy for a second here. Let me actually pull up what he did last year. Hold on, folks. I got caught up and didn't. My bad. Last year, Mr. Dexter Sr. played 50 games, had 51 tackles, and 5 sacks. I could see his numbers improving a bit to 65 tackles and 9 sacks to really give that defense a push and help the court and help him out because he's gonna really need to. They play a lot of good quarterbacks this year, and that D line, that secondary is really gonna have to produce. I think Javon Dexter Sr. is gonna take that next step. Caleb Williams is gonna take that next step, and we're gonna see an improvement with the Chicago Bears. Maybe not the playoffs, like I said, but closer to that 500 mark, maybe around 7 wins, go 7-12, taking that step forward.
I'm with you on the defensive line. That's why they're my focus players is the defensive line. I think they need to turn up their aggression. They need to get after the quarterback and fast to help the defensive backfield. They can't rely on the defensive backfield every play, and that was an issue for them last season. The defensive line just had a lot of trouble getting to the quarterback. They need to turn it up and get aggressive. On offense, DJ Moore is my focus player. Last year, he had his third since being drafted by the Panthers in 2018, had his third worst season. His first worst season was back in 2018, his rookie year, 55 catches, 788 yards, 2 touchdowns. His second worst year was his last year in Carolina, 63 catches, 888 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Last year, 98 catches, 966 yards, and 6 touchdowns. 3 bad years for DJ Moore. I mean, not bad. They weren't that bad, but they wasn't over 1,000 yards. He's a focused wide receiver. He is a key wide receiver, and not getting over 1,000 yards for 3 seasons since being drafted in 2018. I think he needs to become that heavy number one again because he is a number one receiver. Yes, like I said last year around draft time, I said if Caleb Williams, wherever Caleb Williams goes, Rome Odunze is going with him. And what happened? The Bears drafted Caleb. They moved up in the draft later on and drafted Rome Odunze. These guys were a 1-2 pair, not a 1-2 punch, a 1-2 pair. They were going to be together no matter what. If Caleb would have got drafted, by the Commanders, Odunze would have been a Commander. That's how it would have went. Okay? But DJ Moore is still that number one guy, and he needs to, number one, fight to get open more because you've seen it in him. By the time after that Washington game, a lot of these guys just kind of started lagging away, and DJ Moore was one of them. Needs to pick up his game this year and get past that 1,000-yard mark. DJ Moore is my focus offensive player. So
I think to be fair, he only missed 1,000 yards by 34 yards. I mean, I think that's a little harsh on him last year. he did have 98 catches. So my biggest concern would be him was getting his touchdown total up. But that'll come if Caleb Williams and that O-line takes a step forward or not. He only had 6 touchdowns last year.
What's the difference between a 1-2 punch and a 1-2 pair? 1-2 punches, they produce. Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams were expected to be together on the same team no matter what. There was a lot of talk about that even during their final weeks in college. They were expected to be together in the NFL. They worked out during pro days and everything together. So the expectancy of being together was there. That's what the 1-2 pair is. Being a 1-2 punch is producing and being there. Yard production, touchdown production, point production, all that stuff. That's the difference between a 1-2 pair and a 1-2 punch. It's not a big difference, but it's a difference of its own. So that's the difference between the 1-2 punch and the 1-2 pair. You can have a lot of 1-2 punch. That's the thing is there's a lot of players in the past where you had two guys who worked out together on pro days during the off season, all that stuff. And you're like, oh, if this guy gets drafted, he's going to go here, but then it doesn't end up happening. And then somewhere down the line, they end up pairing up. Sometimes they don't. But then you have, for example, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. They didn't play together in college. They weren't expected to be together coming out of college. Obviously, they had a lot of years between them, but they became a 1-2 punch. So that's what the difference between a 1-2 punch and a 1-2 pair is. So, but that's it for the NFC North Spotlight. In 2 weeks, we do the NFC South. Okay, so we will be spotlighting the NFC South in 2 weeks because we will not be here next week. We are taking the week off. Why? Because I'm going to the beach. I need a beach day. I was supposed to go today, and it didn't happen. Now, I had to put some pressure on you, Ella, because I was legit confused, and I'm like, I want to explain it. Hey, by all means, Cam, ask any question you want. I'll try and have an answer for you, but that's exactly what I mean. But I appreciate it.
I've never heard of a 1-2 pair either.
No,
I've heard
now
of
you
a
both
1-2 punch.
now you both got the explanation.
If I heard a 1-2 pair, it would be more like a pair of receivers, like Ayuk and Debo.
Well, because Caleb Williams,
AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, Higgins and Chase. That's like the pair that I think of when I hear a 1-2 pair.
But with all the talk of them doing working out and everything together, they had a great tight relationship. There was the expectancy of them getting drafted to the same team, ending up together in the NFL from day one. And that's why if you go back, we don't have any more. I don't know if we have any more footage of it. We might have footage of it from our Red Zone days. But when we did our draft shows before the draft in 2024, I mentioned it a few times that, wherever Caleb Williams went, Rome Odunze's going. And then come draft day, Caleb Williams got drafted first. And I said it, the Bears are going to move up and take Rome. And when they moved up, I said Rome Odunze. That was that. He was going to the Bears. That's who they were going after. And it happened. So that's what I mean by 1-2 pair. 1-2 punch is a different thing. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith could be a 1-2 punch. Different players in different situations could be 1-2 punches. So that's the difference.
I consider a 1-2 punch a quarterback and receiver, or two running backs, back by committee.
Yeah. The running back by committee, you would consider that more so like a two-headed monster.
1-2 punch.
1-2 punch, two-headed monster. I mean, they really get they really get more
Montgomery and Gibbs.
They get deemed more like the two-headed monster opposed to a 1-2 punch. That's what they more get highlighted as.
Cincinnati, Burrow and Chase. That's a 1-2 punch.
That's a 1-2 punch. Yeah, that's a 1-2 punch.
Darnold and Justin Jefferson was a 1-2 punch last year.
I mean, they were last year.
Darnold put up good numbers. I think he earned that.
And when it comes to Justin Jefferson's 1-2 punch, I would consider Kirk Cousins more of one than Sam Darnold because Cousins had more years with Jefferson. Yeah. So
Yeah.
one more injury that came up. Darnell Mooney from the Falcons suffered an injury. He's going to be out for a little bit. They don't know the extent of it. That
Hopefully
just
not
came
too
out.
long. He really took that next step with his
He
career
did.
last year.
Last year was a good year for
He had
Darnell
a
Mooney.
great year for him.
Yeah, him and Cousins were really hooking up before Cousins got benched. So, but that's John. I don't have anything else. You have anything else? I don't have anything else.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, make sure you're heading over to John's social medias. John, what do you want to know? What do you want to let people know?
I don't know. What do I want to know?
I don't know. What do you want to know, and what do you want to let the people know? You if you want to know anything, you ask the question. I might have an answer for you, but just keep it in the range to where like we don't get like booted and banned or anything like that. Keep it light.
Yeah. Check out my Twitch within the upcoming weeks. I'm going to be more active on it. I'm kind of trying to figure out a schedule. I stream a lot of games on Twitch, and I'm trying to really cut it down to maybe like 2. So might be getting college football, the new college football this week. So hoping, and that's definitely going to be on there. So check it out. Mike and I are going to be doing an online franchise. I'll probably be doing Road to Glories or whatever it's called on, My Player, whatever it's called on.
I'm so excited for the Road to Glory in this game.
That's what it is, Road to Glory. I didn't play it much last season. That's why.
Superstars Madden Road to Glory is college. Yeah.
Might even dab into some Ultimate Team. I know that's a pay to win, so my team might not be that great, but because I'm not going to pay to win.
I tried doing Ultimate Team for like 10 minutes, and I was like, fuck this.
I'll tell you what, I like Ultimate Team because I like collecting cards, and I really got into the Madden that had Drew Brees on the cover. I really got into Ultimate Team. I purchased the packs. I did all that. I had a decent team, but after that one, I was kind of like,
that was 09.
Nothing carried over. Like all my purchases didn't carry over. So it's like I just wasted money for a year because I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, but now with the cloud saves and everything, I think you can carry over now.
I don't think so. I think it's a new game every year with that.
Oh, well, then no, they ain't get my money on that one.
That's why it's a pay to win.
Forget Ultimate Team for me. Make sure you're checking out everything that John is doing on social media, especially his Twitch streams. His Twitch streams are a lot of fun. They are. I love watching John's Twitch streams, especially late night. They're so fun to watch.
That's what I'm mainly on because I work second shift, so I get on about midnight to 12:30 Eastern time. So I usually after work, I'll eat dinner, maybe take a shower, and then hop on. So
Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. Metal Mike 714 is where you can follow me on social media. It is SummerSlam week. Huge week in professional wrestling. Well, for the WWE of its own, SummerSlam is next weekend. So table spot tomorrow night, the boom on Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite over on Rivet City Radio's Twitch and Off the Top Media's YouTube channel. Right after Raw on Monday night, right after AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night. So come check that out. We will not be here next week. As I said, I'm going to the beach. I need a beach day. I need to kind of zen out and, chill for a minute. Plus, I'm going with my daughter and her boyfriend, so it's some time spent with them. So we will be back in 2 weeks for the NFC South. We will close out the NFC side of things as far as our spotlight in 2 weeks. And then John's not going to be here the 17th. So we're going to have a jam-packed show. Well, we'll be here on the 10th. You won't be here on the 17th.
Yeah, I'll be visiting family in Maryland.
So in 2 weeks on the 10th, we will finish out the NFC side of things. And then when John comes back on the 24th, we are going to pretty much cram down AFC spotlight stuff on you guys like crazy. So be ready for that. The AFC East, West, and North. Maybe we'll just do the whole AFC on that, and then the 31st can just be our full-on prediction show.
Yeah, the full-on season preview show. I like the idea of that.
August 24th will be the spotlight of every AFC division, and then the 31st will be our prediction show to get ready for the 2025 season. So with that being said, appreciate everybody who came in, checked out everything here on the Live. If you did not check out the Live, thank you for checking us out. on the replay. Be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Take care of each other. Be patient with each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. Go follow our social medias right now on X, YouTube, TikTok, and on Twitch. Twitch, The Huddle Up Podcast, TikTok, X, and YouTube at The Huddle Pod. We'll see y'all on the 10th. Have a great 2 weeks. Deuces, everybody.
Yeah.